every day working, looking at the market, every new trend, every new tool, every new technology that can allow us to enter and provide a new opportunity to bring more enhanced experience for final users. We started several years ago with mobile. We have a really interesting capacity building big data and data analytics solutions. We started with wearables last year, cloud computing, gamification, Internet of Things. Every new technology or emerging technology that can change the way that users interact with technology. We started on the 80s with the calculator watch from Casio. The evolution of those two concepts, things connected to internet and the wearable devices, are the main concept that we take on the technology market to define what could be the next evolution of technology. Last year, in May, Google launched the Google Glasses as a disruptive tool to allow users to interact in a different way with computers, smartphones, and defining a new kind of user experience that changes the way that we are looking at devices today. A couple of weeks ago, Apple introduced the Apple Watch that will change the way that we are interacting with your phones again, and with more massive market than the Google Glass. And then we have a range of different products from the Google Nest, for example, that collect information about the usage of air conditionings and climatization on houses. We have sensors that can be applied to different things on different spaces, and biometric sensors that can allow us to monitor health and vital signs in different ways and collect that information. This is changing the way that we see the market. The Google Nest acquisition from Google last year marked a milestone in the Internet of Things markets, enabling new players in the game. And one interesting point of this is the last issue of the Time magazine that was devoted to the never offline concept, how wearables will change the way we are connected every single day of our lives. Today, the presentation that we set up today is basically to try to explain you what we are doing in Globant regarding the wearables and Internet of Things, what can be done, and what are the base ideas and the basic concepts of what the wearables and Internet of Things market are opening for technology today. I will start with a simple concept. We are just in the tip of the iceberg of this new technology. We are just starting to understand how we can reach new places, new market, new areas of technology with this revolution. And what we started last year with Google Glass as a new interface, and what started a few years back with Arduino on the open source hardware platforms, are ways to allow developers, technologists, geeks, nerds to start playing around with things that can evolve in a new product, in a new technology. 5 years ago, this revolution started in another market, in mobile, where anyone with a computer and access to the development libraries from Apple or Android started building mobile applications. And today we have the same opportunity to start a new market, a new technology area with this Internet of Things products. But something that we learned from the last experience with mobile is that there is not only one concept or one technology that will work in this new market. We have different things. We have the mobile environment that we are now is now part of our life. We have our phones all the day with us. Our phones are connected to the internet in different ways, are sharing information. We start with the wearable devices a couple of years ago, And we are now with the smartwatches, the smart bands, the sports bands, we are starting to interact with them in different ways. Also, the open source hardware, it's a really important trend on the market today because it's allowing us to try new things or build proof of concept of ideas that we can construct in the future with proper hardware. And one of the most important things of all the information we are handling in our mobile or wearable devices is the information we collect. And big data is part of is a key part of the technology we will run in the future. Every single sensor, every single device, every single tool that we use connected to internet can allow us to collect information, process information, and bring contextual interactions for our users, analyzing, processing, and building action upon the information we collect with big data tools. Then we have 4 main practices that we need to develop to bring this new market to life. User experience is the first. We need to design the way that users will interact with these new technologies. We have to work on innovation, exploring new markets, exploring new technologies. Engineering to build the hardware and software to support this new stuff, and infrastructure to support the information flow that we are designing in our application. All those 8 concepts are what we call Internet of Things. Every single thing that it's connecting information will be part of the Internet of Things revolution. I will start talking a little bit about wearables. As I mentioned before, wearables is not a new thing. We started in the 80s with watches with different functions and tools. But now with the Apple Watch that was presented last year and with the Samsung Gear smart watches that were presented this year and last year, users can have in their wrist information in real time connected to their smartphones and can interact, responding mails, SMS, receiving information without taking the phone out of the pocket. That will change the way we interact with our phones. Actually, today, if you are an Android user, you have your Android phone with a lot of information, a lot of applications available, and in some cases, it's really hard to get to the right place on your phone. And the best way to avoid that over information problem you have with your Android phone, Google designed what they call the Google Now cards, where you have information that you need in the moment you open your phone. With the same concept of Google Now cards, you have the same interaction in your Galaxy Gear smartwatch, receiving just a bit of information that could allow you to interact with your phone in other ways than just opening your phone, going to the right application and checking information. And with the presentation last week about the Apple Watch, we are now seeing another kind of interactions. For example, the sample we have today on the presentation is the Chase card that is using Apple Pay technology. You can use your smartwatch to use as a payment card using near field communication technology, NFC, to use your device, your smartphone or your smartwatch to perform a payment directly with security and with several checks before you make the payment, but you can use your smartwatch as your debit card. The other concept we are talking today is Internet of Things. Internet of Things is basically anything connected to the internet. You can have a webcam connected to internet from your house, and you can access that webcam from your smartphone anywhere in the world. That webcam can have intelligence integrated to that and inform you through an SMS or a push notification that you have an interaction, or even in your house. You can also have your alarm system connected to internet and sending information right away. And also you can open your garage door using your smartphone. That are things that are in your house in this example, connected to internet and interacting with you remotely. You can expand this universe to different areas: industry, health, banking, security, travel, where you can have devices, sensors, and appliances connected to internet, sending information and allowing you to interact remotely with them. Every sensor, every device, every appliance you connect to the internet should be designed and created and constructed by someone. In the past, to do any engineering or electronic work, you had to go to a shop or a company that helped you with the hardware design, working paper with prototypes, SketchUps, and drawings before getting something working in your hand. In the past, you waited for months, maybe years, to get a prototype working. Today, with the open source hardware platforms, you can build a rapid proof of concept of almost anything, from a sensor, from a robot, from an appliance, connect that to different hardware and software pieces, and get a proof of concept of almost anything in a short time. And then, with the proof of concept and the user validation, you can go to an electronic shop and ask for a correct design, get reduction on the size, cost, and components of this proof of concept, and prepare to a market with a proof of concept. And the next practice, or the next thing that is very important, I mentioned before, is when we design it and build this hardware using open source components, or designing our own hardware, we also develop the software and the interactions and the data collection for every single device. We need to enter now with a big data schema, where we define and design how the networked sensors will collect that information, what information needs to be collected, where we will store that information, how we will process that information, how we will send the feedback to the device or any other device related to the interaction we are exploring, and then how we can analyze and provide responses or suggestions in the future to our users regarding the information we collected. A really interesting example of this big data and Internet of Things concept is Google Maps. When you get an Android phone and you use for the first time Google Maps, in the license of Android and Google Maps, the software asks you for permissions to share your information, your velocity, your place of Google Maps with the rest of the Google Cloud. And with that information, they can put together the traffic patterns and the traffic alerts on Google Maps in real time. That's a really good example of how we can help our users collecting simple bits of information, sending them to cloud services or backend services, analyze them, and send them back to users with information in advance, suggestions, preference, or also with contextual interactions. For example, when you enter a store, you can receive a personalized attention using just information you shared with your devices in the past. This is basically the four main things of the presentation of today: wearable devices, Internet of Things, open source hardware, and big data and data collections. Now we will talk about how we can monetize this information we collect, and how we can make maybe a new venture around the Internet of Things and wearables. First, we need to talk about revenue generation. All the information we can process and all the services we can prepare to our customers can become revenue for us. For example, targeted digital marketing. If we have contextual information and we have preference from our users, if we have, for example, beacons that we will see in a short time in this presentation, we can have a personalized experience in a store for our customers. Client profiling to understand how our customers are interacting with our things, appliances, or stores. Identify new business opportunities, analyzing the trends and the interaction of our users. Contextualization, providing the information our users need in the time they need without interaction with our users. And brand positioning, using the technology we have in hand to change the way our customers are seeing our brand. Then we can implement cost savings and resource usage optimization about using some similar tools that the ones I mentioned in the revenue generation, using customer targeting, profiling, productivity tools for our employees, different options to understand how they are interacting with their environment and how we can implement cost savings. One good example of this is if we can implement in our house appliances and devices that identify how we use the energy, the gas, the heaters, and the air conditionings. We can improve the way we use those devices and those appliances in our house and reduce the cost of energy. Then another important thing that can be implemented using the tools we mentioned is the risk reduction. If we, for example, combine different appliances, for example, the smartwatch with the smartphone with the location, we can prevent fraud. We can prevent risk, because if you have your phone in one place, you are making a transaction in another place, and you have your watch in a distant place from your smartphone, that could be an indication of trouble, or indication of you have something wrong in your file, and can allow websites or tools to say that you may have compromised your security. And the last thing that is similar to risk reduction is compliance and regulation. That is basically how we can implement the same tools and the same things to prevent money laundering, fraud detection, and provide credit scoring based on experience of our users. We will now start talking about some real life examples. We will start with the iBeacon technology that was presented by Apple last year. Basically, iBeacon technology is it's a simple tool that implemented Bluetooth low energy to transmit a simple ID through a hardware that costs between $2 or $3, and you can use that beacon to provide indoor location or proximity information. For example, you are walking around an office and you can identify with your phone by proximity what is the nearest available meeting room, or if you enter a store, you can be identified by your phone and send information back to servers and allow you to receive personalized information on your phone regarding your location. Basically, iBeacon use a micro-location technology that triggers an ID using this Bluetooth signal, and your smartphone, use that ID to perform operations with the backend services. We'll see next an example of this beacon technology implemented with another technology that is available in the market today, that is called intelligent lighting. Philips presented last year a set of lights that is called Philips Hue. that basically is a smart lamp connected to a private network that you can access that network through APIs by your phone or via backend service, and you can change the color, you can turn on and turn off each light component, and you can provide personalized experience with that lighting system. In this case, we built for a couple of customers a proof of concept that is basically checking what your color preference are and your shopping list on your smartphone. With the beacons, we identify you when you enter a store, and that beacon will trigger an action on the lighting system and will put a spotlight on the product you are looking for based on your shopping list with your color of preference. Basically, will allow you to guide your experience inside the store using lights with the color of your preference. It's a simple concept that was built in less than 3 or 4 days by our team, using basically hardware available on the market. A second experience we presented to a customer a couple of months ago was for a casino floor, basically using the same beacon concept to identify different areas where you can get a personalized attention on arrival, proximity marketing regarding the place you are inside the casino floor, content related to the area you are, and one of the interesting things that we presented in this proof of concept was the extended play experience. Basically, if you were playing on a slot machine, when you get away from that slot machine, the phone will identify you that you are leaving and ask you to, if you want to keep playing that game, you can download the game on your phone and keep playing remotely. Basically, that's an interesting case of using of beacons. The next case we will see is basically a set of 4 cases that we did for a bank in Spain that we presented innovation ideas for wearables interaction and interactive interaction. The first one is the fraud prevention tool using Android Wear smartwatches. That is basically advising that you are making a payment in some place, checking if you are okay with that payment. If you are in the same place that your phone is, so your smartwatch is in the same plane that your phone, and the transaction is in the same place, is happening in the same place you are, you will not receive any alert or any push notification. But if the transaction is being done in other place different that you are, or the proximity between your smartwatch and your smartphone is not okay, we'll send you an alert to the smartwatch asking you for permission to perform that interaction. In the same way, in the same model, we presented to the same client a personalization tool based on the smartphone and in beacons. Basically, in the next slide, you will see how we can interact with the beacons and using a previously appointment, you will be directed inside the bank branch to the right desk with your assistant. It's basically also a simple concept that use iBeacons to interact with you in a different way. I'm not seeing okay, I'm seeing that now, the slide updated. The next tool is what we call resource usage dashboards, that basically is allowing our users to track how the resources of an office are being used. For this, we implemented the first metrics we implemented were with tools, with software tools, basically with Google Docs, Google Calendar, and Gmail. And we can track how many users are using each of these tools. But we are now extending this dashboard to desk, meeting rooms, common spaces, and parking places, basically monitoring the usage and the reservation of all those items. To achieve this, We are implementing iBeacons in each desktop, in each meeting room, in each parking space that will be assigned to you when you get closer to that place using your phone. And we can track how many users, how many desks, how many meeting rooms, or the way that the users are interacting with the common areas like the restaurants, the cafeterias, or the parking spots. This is a few examples of what we can do or we can build, combining hardware, software, and technology that is already available in the market. The next few slides are just a simple example of how we can build a proof of concept using open source hardware and sensors that are available in the market. In our Internet of Things studios in Globant, we are playing around with different things and building proof of concept. And for that, to achieve this, we are working with sensors and open source platforms. And as in the case that you are seeing today, we can combine contact sensors, temperature sensors, fingerprint sensors with cameras and with microphones to build anything that we want using a platform like Arduino or Raspberry. And in the case we are showing today, we were thinking for a presentation we built a couple of months ago for a customer, how we can build really fast a tool that allow us to identify how many users are, how many persons are walking around one place, and how we can present this information in a way that a marketer can easily understand and use in the future. The first thing we thought was about how we can get the hardware ready to build this. Then we work on the tool to present the information, and we thought that Google Analytics was the right place, so we get a Google account. And then we implemented a little piece of code to achieve the goal that we defined. And basically, we built a small board based on Arduino that had a presence sensor, a couple of wires and boards to connect the information and connect to the internet, so we can share that information in real time. We register the analytics account as you can register a web page in Google Analytics, and we created a real-time, real-life analytics that basically is counting how many people is walking in front of that sensor. Using the same real-time analytics that you can have in Google Analytics, you can collect information about how many people are looking into advertising or a poster in any place, and share that information in the same way you share that information of your web page. Basically, that's a quick example of an idea combined with a hardware available in the market and a tool of software that is being used by marketers and webmasters from years now. The next thing that we will talk about is basically how open is this market and how broad are the options we have to engage customers, engage ideas, and create new things on Internet of Things. And basically, we can build anything from interaction with vehicles, asset tracking, person tracking, pet tracking. We can monitor and control basically everything that moves with a chip sensor. We can implement agriculture automation, providing sensors, data collection, data analytics, and data visualization for the way we are collecting information on agriculture. As I mentioned before, energy consumption is a high demanded solution right now, and you can implement easily in your house different devices and sensors to optimize the use of energy. For security and surveillance, you can build motion tracking devices, alarms, remote controlled surveillance systems. You can implement building management tools. You can implement telemedicine and healthcare with sensors and remote assistant kits using different tools. like Google Glass is changing the way that doctors interact with their patients. And you can basically implement in your everyday things, from your dishwasher, your TV, your lock in your house, anything that you can interact with can be combined with Internet of Things. Today, we are thinking on potential use case for our customers. We are working on retail sales environments with customers like Target, Best Buy, and Sears. We are working different conference and exhibits tools to improve the experience on conference. We are working also with automakers and dealers to improve the way that they are offering information about the car offering, and also with grocery stores, looking at the traffic of products and the product interaction with users. There is a lot of applications you can think about wearables, beacons, and other technologies. There are extensive opportunities for passive measurement and data analytics. The cost of the technology today is really low. You can work and play with open source platforms. You can build proof of concept, and you create new environments from really simple ways and cheap hardware available in the market. And the most challenging today is identify the cases and the interactions we can have with users in the future. How we can collect information, how we can provide interactions real time, and how we can get new markets and new technologies fast in the market. The right opportunity is really the key thing for Internet of Things. This is the beginning of a new technology era, and I think we need to start looking and thinking about different ways to interact with users. I will pass the next few slides very fast, but this is a few ideas we share with our customers and with a partner in the glass conference we performed in San Francisco last week. But basically, it's about data collection, interaction, sensors that are available in the market today connected to the internet, and the way we can adapt and we can interact with our environments using intelligent tools. For example, it's a really clear example of your daily interactions with your house. You wake on the same time every single day of the week. You turn on the lights. You turn on your heater in winter. You move your drapes, prepare your coffee, and get ready to go to your work or whenever you go every morning. But basically, you can automate those interactions in simple ways with the hardware we have today. And if we were talking about home automation from many years now, we can extend that home automation to reality, and then we can extend the same automation concepts to different things. You can replicate this behavior and interaction in your car, for example, making the same interactions of when you enter the car, turn on the lights, put the temperature at your preference, put the audio you prefer in every single time of the day. It's the same way of perform things in an easy way based on your experience, and then we can move ahead doing the same automation on the working environment or the same interactions in the play environment in any time of the day. That's basically the part of the future of the interactions we will see. The connected living ecosystem that many different vendors are working today are part of this movement. The way that you connect your home, you connect your person, you connect your health, you connect your car, share information is part of this future. Basically, that's the presentation for me today. Thank you for the time, and we will now open the question and answer with Mariano, the technical director of the Wearable Studios. Let me know if you need you have any question, any doubt via the tool, the question and answer tool on the WebEx, and we will start out with the questions.
Okay, hello. This is Mariano Basalo, and the first question is whether or not you need Bluetooth enabled for the device to use it. You could implement an application using NFC so that when you do an NFC contact, it enables the Bluetooth in the phone. That would be a way. Another way is to make the user switch it on because of the advantage of using the application, like for an extended experience on site. Let me see another question. The question is regarding security and Internet of Things. There are several secure protocols for Internet of Things. Of course, you don't use a full HTTP stack for communications, but there is COAP, like Constrained Access Protocol, that does security. Then you can also implement security on the device. For example, if you're programming an Arduino or a Spark core, you can do encrypted communications with the device to the server, and then from there on, you do standard HTTPS communications with your backend or client. Of course, you never connect your clients or your external users to a device. That would be insecure. Okay, regarding security and privacy and data collection, that's more of a general question about companies and who you trust with your data. If you are going to use a wearable that publishes your personal information, well, that depends entirely on the reputation of the company. Regarding IoT appliances, there's no one single most exciting appliance, but the exciting thing is that you can build practically anything you want without the high costs that we used to have. You can use any of the prototyping platforms like Arduino, Spark Core, or just about all the platforms arriving to the market today, and build a working prototype in just a few hours or days. Well, you can do practically anything if you can control machines with less than $100 and that kind of stuff.
Yes, this is Pablo Vito again. Let me add something here. Regarding the most exciting and useful and profitable IoT appliance, many vendors are working right now with connection, information, and interaction. We are, I think, far away from a common platform. That I think this touches step. Apple is working with the health kit and the home kit, so they can provide a unified platform where all the information collected is being in the same place and can be accessed and processed in a similar way. But until we get that standard platform in the market, it will be really hard to get the most profitable, the most useful the market. The same thing happened a few years back with the smart TV environment. Many vendors have many different software-based tools and devices, and until they get together and launch a similar platform, the market was really separated. And the other thing, there is a question here about where else can we see wearables, for example, used for marketing, and I can see in many, many places. We built last year a proof of concept for Google Glass for the Super Bowl in the US, basically for receive real-time stats in the match. That's a kind of tool for marketing. You can send information for your users and also send marketing information or interactions. You can also apply, for example, beacons to perform interaction with users on the street. You can make data location or location aware applications based on your position. You can implement, for example, we built for a demo a couple of weeks ago a dashboard based on Raspberry. Raspberry, for your information, costs around $35. You can get in with an LCD or LED screen, 55 inches, for example. You can build a real-time dashboard with only $35. That kind of stuff is the things that you can build really fast and really cheap. And that the combination of the cheap hardware with the correct information, I think, is one of the key for the future. The same thing with the same hardware, you can build, for example, a Pac-Man game. I will publish on my Twitter later a sample marketing campaign they built in, I think it was in France. They put in billboards on the bus station, basically a Raspberry with a keyboard. With a Pac-Man, so anyone waiting for a bus can play Pac-Man in a bus station with really low cost. Marketing campaigns, there is a lot of options, so you use your imagination to bring new things to life. I received a few questions for the early beginning of the presentation about Internet of Things on the industry and production. There is a lot of things also happening in industries for Internet of Things. You need to start thinking in 3 or 4 main topics. The first one is the common platform or the common framework that we will use to collect and store and process that information. The second one is security. Is how we put together encryption and information about data analytics and that interaction. And the third one, and I think it's most important, is security on the work environment. We were working on wearables, for example, to allow workers on a plant to get the hands free when they were interacting with heavy-duty machinery, receiving just the information they need in the Google Glass or in a smartwatch without having a tablet or a notebook or whatever other mean you need in the field. That's part of the movement we see in the future for industry is connection, data gathering, security, and the security in the workplace. I think it's the most important. We can share more information with you later. If you have any doubt or comment, just send me a mail, send us a mail, and we will respond to you. Any more questions? Okay, I have another question about wearable in factories. It's the only example we have right now is the one I mentioned before. It was for a pipe company that was looking for a solution, and different vendors are working today on the market trying to bring new interactions and new tools. But actually, there are tools in the market today. You don't need to wait for some vendor to build a magic glass in the future. You already have Google Glass that is on the market today, and you can have smartwatches to interact with them. There is not a lot of success cases right now because this is a new market and it's a new opportunity to you to build the next step. Mariano?
Yes, it's quite new, but there are lots of engineering projects there's a lot of work being done on the engineering universities here in Latin America. So another question was regarding connectivity, like how do you connect your sensors to a local network? Like using Arduino as an example, there are shields to connect Arduino to an Ethernet network, and then there are shields to connect it to Wi-Fi networks. And now there are integrated platforms like Spark Core that connects you point to point or end to end from the sensor to the cloud, so you don't have to program low-level networking protocols. There's another question regarding IoT and skills. Like, what skills would you teach about IoT in a university? IoT deals more than anything with networking protocols, electronics, and low-level programming like C language and some assembly, but mostly C. So you need a strong networking background and electronics, and Unix programming is quite useful. Regarding time for a solution, an IoT solution to be deployed, well, as Pablo said, rapid prototyping platforms and open source hardware enables you to develop products very fast. And some projects actually are implemented using those platforms, and no production design or no other iteration in design. So if you're in a hurry and you are not going to build too many sensors or too many devices, you can pay the price, maybe a bit higher, and use Arduino or Raspberry Pi for your product.
Let me add a couple of things here too. We saw a couple of questions in the Q&A about the languages, how we can teach this on the university, how you can build the career path for universities and college, and this is a new way. But let me tell my experience on this. When I started with programming, the tools we have 25 years ago were simple, were things that you code something and receive something on return, a response from the computer. With the evolution of computing, the programming language has become more complex, with more tools, with more development environments, with interaction with other things. And then the response to an order you type on your computer take longer to appear on the computer screen. And if we talk about mobile, for example, you need to set up an environment, set up your phone, will code a lot to see a Hello World application on your phone working. But with Internet of Things, for example, with the open source hardware, talking about Arduino or Raspberry, you can, in 10 minutes or 5 minutes, a kid can put a light on in an Arduino environment, and it's really fast. And the simplicity of the coding and the fast way to get results is something that kids that are starting to learn technology will be thrilled to try. And I think the first approach to get people on board in this new revolution is bringing hardware to the high school, bringing Arduino, Raspberry, Lego Mindstorms, or Little League, so kids can start playing around with programming. Then the next step of the evolution will be back into electronic engineering or electronic programming, because we are interacting here directly with the hardware. We are not programming in a language that anyone can understand on a training boot camp. We need to understand how electronic works, the logic board, the logic ports, the interaction between components, what is an electronic component, voltage, and a lot of information that maybe the programmers lost in the evolution, and we need to go back to the origins. But basically, it's part of the mix of electronic engineering with programming, and I think that's the best way to identify. I see another question here about how we can offer this kind of wearable option to malls and shoppings or retail store or whatever. Basically, it's part of the offering we are doing today in Globant. If you have any questions, just send me a mail or a tweet, and I will give you more information or connect with the right team. There is another question about who will lead this IoT revolution, like iOS and Android. There is no answer to that question. There is a lot of information in the market and a lot of movements. There is not a standard yet. We will not see a standard in the near future. Maybe someone here in this call will make the standard and will become the next Steve Jobs. We don't know. Well, I think I just received another question. It's the last one because we need to wrap up. But the collection information is part of the design that we have to build around the applications we are looking for. It's part of the design of the applications. Well, thank you very much for your time today. If you have any question, any comment, just feel free to send me a mail or a tweet to me, to Mariano, or to Santiago. The mails and tweets are right now on the presentation, and if you receive the presentation, we can have more information for you later. Thank you very much. Appreciate your presence. See you soon. Bye-bye.